don't always pour in right away.
That's why I have an intro song that lasts about 3 minutes.
Yeah. For me, I just do the like Easter egg style where, if people are there right at the beginning, they get some exclusive, fun little chit chats.
Yeah, you
And
should
get
you should release some NFTs. I have some for my YouTube members when they like sign up to be a part of the membership, where it's like $1 a month or whatever. I
mm-hmm.
send them NFTs. Same thing with like Patreon. If people join
Mm-hmm.
my Patreonage, I send them an NFT. So you could
Yeah.
just make NFTs and give them away. You don't have to like sell them.
There we go. So for those who are just tuning in now, Ken's getting his dab on. He's got a.
Yeah, my microphone's gonna get noisy.
It's fine. Uh, for those who were not here in the pre show chatter, which duh. Kenn is in a little bit of pain currently, and so he has a legit reason for his what do they call it?
I
He has
have
a
three legit reasons. I pulled my back, I had all my
Ooh.
teeth pulled, and my finger is infected. And I know like the bros can sympathize with this. It's happened to people before, right? Like your
Yeah.
finger gets all like swollen and purple and it gets like pussy. Like I have like my back hurts, my teeth hurt, and my finger hurts.
Well,
So I'm
it's
medicating.
it's like that old country song. What is it? My head hurt, my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus.
Well, it probably should have loved Jesus and wouldn't hurt and stink so much.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I still, for like almost a year now, I think I struggled to make a fist completely here because I got some jujitsu training accident with my finger and it's big old fat knuckle. So I know kind of what that's like. Not the whole.
You should have jujitsu'd them.
Yeah, well, unfortunately I signed a waiver. I'm not into that whole thing.
You were under the influence when you signed that waiver. My lawyer could prove it.
Wow. Yeah, you must have a good lawyer. We'll talk about that one.
I am my own lawyer.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, got 2 people watching on YouTube. That's not bad.
Oh, you know what? Let me grab the link from your Twitter and tweet that out too. Oh, we're on Periscope. Even freaking better, actually.
Yeah.
I can steal your Periscope. I'm going to just Grand Theft steal that tweet and make it look like it's my own Periscope.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, so first off, it's not Periscope. Periscope's dead. It's Twitter now. But it's just plain old Twitter. But yeah, we're live primarily on Odysee and YouTube, but also on Facebook and Twitter, just to be everywhere. Because you never know when one of those things is going to have an issue, and you wish you were streaming on all the things so you have a copy that works. Like, I've had it before where, like, Odysee missed, like, the replay. It just didn't work. And then YouTube's stream had some issues. Like, YouTube was just down during one of my streams for some reason. Like, literally all of YouTube happened to coincide with one of my streams. It really sucked. So I'm on everywhere just to make sure. But yeah, I mean, wherever.
Yeah, I can't even use Twitter Live. It won't even let me watch it. I just got like a warning. I'm not allowed to use Twitter Spaces or participate in lives.
Why is that? Are you too spicy?
I guess I posted something that got me in trouble, and now everything I post apparently comes with like a sensitive content warning on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that now. Well, because I've been following you forever.
Over 30 people watching live on Twitter now.
Yeah, I saw the sensitive content thing when I looked at your thing on it from another account. I'm like, oh, but yeah. I mean, that's because like I still remember back in the day, you used to like comment and like on like porn stuff, and I was like in a coffee shop just like working, and all of a sudden I see like some DP stuff going on. It was a little weird, but
I think that's what happened. I posted something inappropriate, and too many people reported it. But it's nothing more inappropriate than Twitter allows, right? It's just, I guess, unexpected because it's been a while.
Yes, surprise boning is what it is. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that it shouldn't be a surprise, right? Well, some things in life are better expected and consensual. If you know
I guess news are definitely better expected. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some exceptions, but be on the safe side. It could go really wrong otherwise. Well, we should probably just roll the intro graphic at this point. And if you guys enjoy the pre-flight chatter, you know, you enjoyed watching Ken get his stab in his due. And yeah, let's just hit this intro, and yeah, we'll run right into the show. Happy Friday, the world. How goes it? I'm joined by the one and only that I know of, or that matters, Kenn Bosak. How's it going, man?
How goes it, bro? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry you couldn't make it last week, but because of, you know, I mean, you had a good excuse. Let me be honest about that. So, but yeah, it's always a pleasure to be on your show, like I was before. But also, as I tell people, like, you're the single person encapsulation of the crypto space, like, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing. Like, it's just all there. So it's not like just a show for dumb stuff. It's like you're the real of the crypto space, and for all that means. And so I always like to go chat with you for that exact reason, because it's not like you have your finger on the pulse of all the awesome stuff and also a lot of the dumb stuff too, and like no censorship, no filter on all this stuff. So that's always
you
good.
Never know when the dumb stuff's gonna smarten up, man. Look what happened with Dogecoin.
Yeah.
It was pretty dumb.
Well, that's a great way to talk to get our first point. But before that, as much as y'all love bro, if you want to talk to him, I'm paywalling him today. cointr.ee/thedesertlinks. Drop a little thing with a message, and otherwise I won't read it. You can't talk to him. Sorry. I'm gonna be all elitist today. Or you can do a hyper chat on Odysee, or you could just, I mean, the hack is you just say, hey, did my coin tree come through, even if you never did it, and I'll probably read it anyway, and that's kind of how it works. Please don't do that, though. I like money. So having gotten all that stuff out of the way, yeah, like, why is everything a dog these days as far as crypto is concerned?
I mean, it's just because that's the meme now, right? I mean, that's why. Just is. It's just,
it is what it
coincidence.
is. Huh?
Yeah, it just is what it is. I think. I'm hoping, you know, Pitbull coins are gonna come up soon. You know, the Shiba Inu tokens, like the top 10 now. I don't have a Shiba. I have a Pitbull. So we need more dog tokens. Let's tokenize all the breeds.
So, do you actually know the difference between the different dog-related coins? I mean, there's Doge, there's Sheeb, there's Baby Doge, and there's FLOKI. That's all I know currently. I'm sure there's more, but
there's
as far as practical differences, I know what Dogecoin is pretty well. That's the one I know about. And I know Sheeb is a Ethereum token right now, and it has some sort of staking rewards or some kind of
and there's apparently an NFT platform coming out for Sheeb, I heard. So that's interesting.
Yeah, kind of strange. But so, do you mess around with this kind of stuff? Like,
no.
Are you no?
No, there's just certain games I don't have fun playing. You know what I mean? Like, I could watch. Like, this is to me like spectator sports, watching people trade, you know, Doge and Sheeb. I get way more fun out of watching people than I would participating in it. Even if I was making money, it wouldn't be fun. It's not an environment I'd enjoy. It'd be too much anxiety.
Yeah. So for all the ladies out there, Ken just likes to watch. But yeah.
So I'm a voyeur trader. You know,
voyeur trader. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It seems to be that this is like the Elon Gold Rush kind of thing. He just made an innocuous tweet way back when about, Doge to the moon, because everyone who's into crypto like kind of likes Doge to a certain extent. You know, I wouldn't have a Doge pillow for nothing, right? And then everything went crazy, and he's just like, let's see how far I can push this. And then now everyone's in a bubble, like a dog bubble. But how long do you think until
imagine
this thing...
if he would have done this for Bitcoin? What if he didn't push Doge and just was telling people to buy Bitcoin?
I mean, he kind of did and then kind of didn't. He kind of diversified his shit postings, as it were, you know? But, like, what if he just... Let's just pick a random thing like library, right? What if he picked on the library token? And it's just like, all awesome stuff. Like, it would
Yeah, but
pump
then people would
faster.
have practical utility to go with their
Yeah.
shitcoin. Like there's the
Mm-hmm.
utility of it just being money, just like any other shitcoin. Like that's where Dogecoin never really intrigued me. Like there wasn't any specific gimmick, niche, or use case for it. No utility.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that it couldn't do that other coins that could just be money, weren't
Mm-hmm.
already doing.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I personally think that, I mean, there's always a lot of bullshit in the space. And I think that,
I mean, dog
I,
shit.
yeah, in this case, I, I personally think that Elon, he's kind of like, whether he intends to or not, I think he might have an idea that he is. He's kind of almost, like, again, I hate to use this modern word, but he's almost vaccinating the space a little bit, where he's giving a dose of the disease to just get the immune system and get us all over it, and then we don't care what celebrities tweet about in the future as much.
Mm, that's true too. Yeah, and I guess everyone's gotten used to that, roller coaster volatility with the
Mm-hmm.
Doge.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
So
right. Maybe this is like the baby pool, the kiddie pool, on their way into the deep end.
yeah, it's funny. What's kind of sad? So Coinbase is advertising sign up and trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and SHIB, of course. Which is it's a little sad to see it mentioned as like the third, but it's obvious, right? Just they're trying to make money. Trading platforms obviously want to make money off of what everyone wants. It's the free market. What makes me a little sad though is when you have things like BitPay rushing to add Dogecoin when you know no one's going to pay with Dogecoin places. It's like some of the more like usage based business, not just trading businesses, like lowering themselves to that level is a little, I don't know, a little sketch. I don't know if you
Well,
agree.
they're creating their own self-fulfilling bag holding prophecies where they actually
Mm,
bagged up on enough Doge now that they are in a position to provide utility, which provides value to
mm,
something that they have bagged. Usually when projects start to, you see Coinbase promoting sheep, odds are whoever's in charge of their marketing has a pretty big bag of sheep. And they're just
yeah,
taking advantage of the position they're in life, and that's just life in general. I'm not hating on
yeah.
them, but you got to think outside the
It's the
box,
game.
right? What would you do if you worked at Coinbase and you had a bag of sheep? You'd probably put it up on the website just like they're doing, right? So I just look at it like that when I look at mentioning BitPay adding Doge. Well, yeah, it took them long enough, but I'm sure their whole team at the company's got a bag of Doge now. Now
Mhm.
they can go ahead and open the gates to give value and utility to it.
Yeah, which makes you wonder. There's so many kingmakers in what should be a decentralized space,
Yeah.
and it just I think a part of that is just the world's always going to work that way to a certain extent.
Of course, yeah. Oh my God, it got listed on Binance. Yeah, instant kingmaker, at least for the
Yeah,
day.
that is kind of funny how that the Binance effect works. Do you remember when the Coinbase effect was like, if it's on Coinbase, it's legit. If it's not, and now everything's on Coinbase. It's not quite the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. It kind of changed right around last Christmas when they just started like adding all these ICO tokens out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, speaking of ICOs and stuff like that, Ethereum, right? So, this headline here: Ethereum hits new all-time high after Altair upgrade shows clear path to merge. I guess the merge between ETH and ETH 2.0. It's hit an all-time high around 4,400. First off, that's pretty crazy. Um, do you think? So first, there's plenty of questions on the whole ETH thing. First off, do you use ETH much?
No, not at all.
Just too expensive?
Yeah, yeah. I that and it's just it still doesn't work, man. I can't tell you how many transactions I had drop when trying to play with Uniswap last year. You know, when 2.0 comes out and it's working, I'll play with it. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
interested in being the world's most expensive beta tester. And that's how I feel playing with Ethereum right now. Is it costs too much to beta test this technology. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people have like confidence in it because of a lot of development being built on top of it. Like, yeah, there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of money being thrown on top of Ethereum, but to me that doesn't give me any more faith in the foundation, which is Ethereum. I have to see 2.0 come out. I mean, I was here in 2015, so I was here before the fork. And then I saw
Mm-hmm.
ETH Classic fighting with ETH. And then right after that, they started dangling that carrot on a stick in front of us, ETH 2.0. It's been years I've been hearing about, less gas fees, quicker transactions, scalability. Uh, I'm a little bit tainted by the way Ethereum has been acting as not just like the blockchain, but as their community, their developers
Mm-hmm.
are just they're just not doing what we all wanted, or even expected them, to do development wise. So I'm kind of over Ethereum, to be honest. I have to see them reach 2.0 successfully,
Yeah,
and then I'll play in that
of
sandbox.
course. It's funny because Ethereum is kind of the new Bitcoin, but not necessarily in a positive way. Remember, like Bitcoin was the big one, but also the slow, expensive one that doesn't really work the way you want it to, but like everyone's using it. Now, do you think so? My personal experience recently with ETH, I have a little bit of it here. All that I have is on Thorchain, earning the 42% APY, whatever, ridiculous thing. But it's very little. It's like pocket change, and I have like $100 of ETH tokens that I want to get into ETH and get on there somehow, but I can't do anything with it because the fees are like 58 for or $70 for a transaction. It would give me
Yeah,
like $50 of ETH. It's just so I like everything I have left in Ethereum. I can't touch it. I literally cannot move it,
right.
or it will self-destruct on the way to being moved. And I, I mean, I'm just like literally as much as I'd like to stake, I am waiting for the bear market, not even like scaling because it's not happening. I'm waiting for the bear market to cool things down before I can even like poke my head out and just start like swapping around some tokens on Uniswap again,
Yeah,
and then put them into
I said that a
It's cool.
year ago, and I mean I've said it for a while, but I really was like adamant about it in 2020 because that's when Uniswap really taught me a life lesson. But I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to like advocate, telling people the claim will never be worth the fee. Yeah, the claim will never be worth the fee. Like the amount you're gonna have to spend in the fee on Ethereum to get your claim, unless you're a whale, you're just paying the whales. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the banking system all over again. Same problem, better technology. And I'm just frustrated by that, where it's like the average person who really does need this technology to replace the banks that will not work with them, they
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to use this because of the people that are playing with it for fun.
Yeah. So on that sort of note, with Ethereum being priced out of everything, um, first off, do you think it's ever going to topple Bitcoin as like the number one, the top dog?
Well, I mean, market cap wise, yeah, probably. I could see more
Mm-hmm.
money being thrown into Ethereum than in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing is, what about things like
Let me kind of
Binance?
clarify that
Sorry.
because I feel
Yeah,
like
go
people are
go
going to
for it.
roast me over that. Because Bitcoin doesn't have as much utility. You can't
Mm-hmm.
do as much with Bitcoin as you can with Ethereum. Ethereum's really fucking smart. And if you
Yeah.
want to launch anything smart, you're going to be using Ethereum. So, yeah, Microsoft might get some Bitcoin or whatever, but they're going to get a lot of Ethereum to be playing around with and
Mm-hmm.
breaking it and losing it. And I feel like Ethereum's probably, yeah, going to see a market cap flip unless Rootstock gets a fire lit under their ass and we see Bitcoin get a little bit smarter and can do a little bit more than just be cool money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, until then, I see Ethereum's market cap engulfing Bitcoin's due to the amount of utility over Bitcoin's utility.
Yeah. That's probably true. But what do you think about like the Ethereum killer kind of world? So obviously a lot of it's just like nonsense for right now. Everyone tries to be that. But like what I noticed on like Thorchain, the trading volumes of Binance tokens are pretty high. And like some of the top, like usually BUSD is one of the top traded, way over Bitcoin even on Thorchain, for example. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like I can't pay attention to everything, so that's like the one DeFi thing I can look at other than Uniswap once in a while. And even Ethereum on Binance chain is like almost as high as Ethereum on its own chain as far as trading volume. Do you see stuff like Binance more than just a flash in the pan over the summer, actually eating Ethereum's lunch a little bit? Like, doesn't have to be toppling it, but like, do you think all these like alternative platforms are starting to just eat into Ethereum's lunch?
No, I mean, not necessarily in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, to be an ETH killer, ETH has to die. You can't
Yeah.
be an ETH killer with ETH
Mm-hmm.
still on the board, right? So
Yeah.
that's never going to happen. I mean, 99.9% confident that you just ain't going to kill Ethereum. It ain't going to die. It'll
Mm-hmm.
fork and it'll be ETH something, right? So
Yeah.
I don't see that even being like a conversation worth having when people say like, oh, it's an ETH killer. It's like, yeah, so we're Bitcoin killers. Like for years, that's all I heard is the Bitcoin killer, the next Bitcoin. Like there is no next unless the predecessor's dead. And then when it comes to Binance eating Ethereum's lunches, you can't be eating Ethereum's lunch if you're spreading it. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like you're cloning or copying ETH's lunch by giving it so much volume and more liquidity on your blockchain. You're
Yeah.
not devaluing it, you're multiplying its value. It's like multiplicity.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So yeah, your
yeah.
BNB might grow, but Binance would just keep growing with it and growing on its own.
Yeah. So all the ETH killer space is kind of like the almost like the ETH parasite space, but it's
Yes.
growing, but it feeds to it feeds to Ethereum too. It's just like
Definitely parasites.
the ETH parasites. Like, it's funny. There's this guy.
But it's like
I,
it's like symbiotic though. It's give
yeah,
and give. It's very give and give parasiticness.
yeah, kind of like Litecoin and Bitcoin. it was
Yes,
funny.
exactly.
It was funny because there's this one guy I know who is a crypto investor on Twitter. Shout out to C4 Chaos. He's famous for posting. He just doesn't like Litecoin very much. He's famous for posting like Litecoin is like the tick on Bitcoin. Like anytime anyone's saying Litecoin's gonna be accepted at Walmart or whatever nonsense, he just posts the Litecoin tick as a tick, blood sucking out of Bitcoin image, and it just, yeah, I guess that's like the whole space kind of. To a certain extent, I mean, there's not a lot of original thought in crypto at the higher levels, right? You got Bitcoin and then all the Bitcoin adjacent ecosystem bits. And then you got Ethereum and all the Ethereum bloodsuckers all jumping on there. And then like Doge is like the meme coin, but now it's like the whole pack of me, the whole tribe just came on board. And like there, even when there isn't really like the privacy coin boom either. It's just like a few of them are out there, but there's no like leader and everyone's jumping on. It's just mostly, are you Bitcoin, are you Ethereum, or are you a dog? And then the rest is just pile on afterward.
I feel like that's with like zodiacs and stuff. Are you a Gemini, a Scorpio, or one of the other weird things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, speaking of Bitcoin, talking about mining, right? So, immersive cooling technology can help increase hash rate and minimize energy output. So, basically, um, I don't know how much you read about this. I kind of read a couple of things, but basically, there's some new approach to Bitcoin mining where they're immersing the
Yeah.
miners into liquid and using that to keep them cool from like using all that, and also repurposing some energy to basically make it use way less energy. And so first, what's kind of your hot take on that specific thing?
Uh, I mean, you gotta love the the narrative that the world wants things to be more carbon friendly, green
Mm-hmm.
agenda adjacent and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's even so far pushed that crypto's going that way. I have nothing but high hopes for things getting cleaner, and
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin leading the way kind of steals that last narrative that the mainstream had left. Like
Yeah.
they lost their it's for drug dealers, it's for crime. They lost that narrative as soon as Jamie Dimon said, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong about Bitcoin. They couldn't say that anymore. But what
Yeah, of
they can
course.
say about Bitcoin is that the mining is pretty power consumption, and it is a dirty export of carbon emissions. That is very true, and they still have that argument, and they lay it in, and we're about to take that last point from their bulletin board that is a negative for Bitcoin, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this can put pressure on centralized entities to go through the same direction. If a decentralized operation like Bitcoin
Mm-hmm.
can do this, why can't Netflix or Walmart and all these other companies start to go a little bit greener with their centralized authoritarian positions, top down, just say, make it happen. I mean, they did it in a decentralized way. So Bitcoiners doing this could actually start to make corporations look a lot worse for not following a greener path.
Yeah, the funny thing about all that is, um, part of it is on like obviously the free market provides solutions, right? There's a demand to make stuff greener, for example, or more sustainable, or just use less energy, and then the market provides, like, gets figured out. When you have something that doesn't have that decentralized aspect, it's just not as easy to figure out and make happen on its own because you have top down stuff. But the thing is, in the crypto world, remember this whole narrative about, oh, we're all moving to proof of stake. Everyone was moving. Ethereum was like talked about moving to proof of stake, and it's still proof of work, but whatever, for years. And then you got like Zcash is talking about moving to proof of stake now. Everyone should move to proof of stake. It's so much better. And do you think that proof of work is just going to go away then, or do you
No.
think you just think it just went through that phase of like everyone thinks it sucks and it's old, but it's going to evolve and be just another way of doing things alongside proof of stake for basically ever in the crypto world?
Yeah, I think proof of work will for always be here. I don't think Bitcoin's switching to proof of stake, baby. So, I mean, 2021 40 or something like that, or 2140. I mean, it's still a few
Mm-hmm.
hundred, it's 100 some years away, maybe. Potentially, Bitcoin could go to proof of stake then, in like 100+ years. But no, I
Yeah.
mean, proof of work is obviously here to stay. Especially when we're talking about all the
Mm-hmm.
engineering going into making it more not just viable but profitable, right? I mean, this could actually make Bitcoin cheaper in a sense. If it's costing miners less to get more Bitcoin, then
Mm-hmm.
that could actually help us see maybe a potential correction in the price of Bitcoin because the production cost may be going down.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a good thing for a little bit as well. I ain't going to be mad at seeing the price come down over a fundamentals,
Yeah.
so I don't know, man. I think that the amount of money going into this is that it's enough for me to be like, yeah, it's proof of work's here to stay, and it's gonna they're monetizing it. Why would they get rid of it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
they're figuring out ways to make more money by taking less power away from the grid.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be applied to everything, not just Bitcoin mining, but to residential living, commercial utilities. So I feel like we can't switch to proof of stake for life. Like my refrigerator and can just stake for electricity. I'm gonna have to plug it in and keep it running. I
Mm-hmm.
think all of this engineering is going to trickle down to littler things, and eventually, this is why our cell phones may last 3 weeks, is because Bitcoin engineering got to a point where miners can do so much now that made my phone battery last longer. Who knows what could come of this? But the incentive is a huge Bitcoin honeypot, and I love
Yeah,
the
of
fact that
course.
people are building their way up to that pinata.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of an interesting point where this is moving by being old tech, whatever,
Yeah.
proof of work. It's actually advancing the tech of the entire space like that to where now people are just using the amount of like cooling things for just other usages is just going to go way up. The amount of
Hmm.
energy prioritization, energy markets, because there's just so much inefficiency when the power plants are on overnight, but like no one's using the energy. And I wonder what I would think is cool, because here's the thing about hash rate, right? Hash rate is meant to represent people, right? But it's an anonymous or pseudonymous thing. It's like voting, right? So like everyone who runs Bitcoin secures it and gets to keep it from being attacked. But then after a while, it just turned into like giant mining farms and stuff. But I wonder if it's ever going to kind of trend back in the other direction, where let's just say every device you own, like your house, all the energy, like at night, all the energy that it's not using to power to keep the lights on and stuff because you're asleep is going to just be mining instead. Or like
Yeah,
all your
but it won't be mining Bitcoin. It'll probably be mining Samsung coin, because your smart
yeah.
refrigerator and your smart dishwasher and your smart dryer are all running a node securing
Mm-hmm.
Samsung's network, and they're rewarding you with Samsung token that you can swap on a DEX for Bitcoin or whatever dog coin you want.
Yeah, you know, what'd be funny is if one thing I think is very interesting with like proof of stake is like you have stake when you have proof of stake, you have like all the money behind the network, securing the network. The security is more obvious, right? You see it, you see the money that's behind
Yeah.
it. With proof of work, you see the money's you see the resources that are being used at that moment. But there's a lot of miners that are off at any one time because they're not profitable. But if there's an attack on the network, for example, they could just boot it all up. And it'd be funny to see like if say like the government was ever trying to, like, let's just say China was trying to 51% attack Bitcoin. They got enough to do it. And as they're doing it, like everyone flips their refrigerators from Samsung coin to Bitcoin just to, just throw a bunch of hash rate in to like defeat the attack. I mean, you could see it happening, right?
I can actually. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that. Oh man, yeah. Nifty portal. I can see that. Yes. I kind of want to see. That's the thing is before China decided to like ban Bitcoin earlier this year, they were pretty damn dominant in overall Bitcoin mining, and I thought that was a shot to their own foot. I'm not sure why they did that. But yeah, man. I see, you know, information wars. We were thinking, you know, World War III will be over metadata, and you know, World War III will be over information. And I'm starting to think more and more along World War III is probably going to be on the blockchain. It's going to be over dominance. It's going to be mining. That's World War III.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
can you imagine, let's just say Julian Assange, you know, hopefully he's still around by there, or WikiLeaks, let's just say, pushes some major expose and they put it out on library because it's censorship resistant, right? And they put it out on the library chain, and then it's like this giant scandal. But then all of a sudden, the U.S. government, like the NSA, boots up a whole bunch of like library miners and tries to 51% attack the network to reverse that transaction that put it on there to block the information. And then there's like a call out on social media. Everyone with any device you have, point all your hash rate at this pool so we can fight the censorship. And then they're all like, there's a giant hash war over to try to keep the library network afloat because, you know, there's something that came really
can we make
sensitive.
this a movie? We could sell this to Netflix. They're buying everything right now.
Yeah. I'm sure we could, actually. I'll have a chat with Naomi.
We could call it Hash Wars. It's a thing.
Yes. And I'm sure there might already be one about weed, but, you know, you could call like Digital Hash Wars or like Hash War 2028 or something.
They would think it was a sequel to the Weed Hash Wars, and we'd have to have Potcoin involved to keep the old audience.
Yes, and Dennis Rodman rallies the troops still, you know. There have been weirder things that have happened, let's be perfectly honest. But yeah, I kind of like that idea of everyone has potential hash rate all linked together, all their smart devices, everything. And then like I would really like to be able to, for example, point all my devices to something that earns me money, but I'd also like to be able to vote with it, right? To use
well, you do with Odysee. You use all your devices to watch people's live streams and videos on Odysee, and you can earn that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, you know, like everything, like all the cars, everything we had, just like I like the idea of using it to help defend against attack somewhere. Because like right now, what do you do if like say you have a bunch of Bitcoin and Bitcoin gets attacked? If you don't have ASICs, you can't really do much, right? Because you just have little, you know, and that's kind of like one of those genius things. I'm not sure if genius is the right word, but one of those interesting bits about the way Monero's kind of gone in the botnet mining direction, which I don't know if that's good for security, but it is kind of fun that you can kind of mine on any kind of device. But then on the other side, what if like some evil, again, now we're getting into like, you know, Mission Impossible 12 or whatever, where like some evil person has a botnet that like takes over everything and makes it all like 51% attack Bitcoin. So like every device,
Jeff Bezos and AWS.
Yeah, I mean it's not even really a conspiracy at that point. I mean that's
right.
That could happen. That could happen so easily.
That could happen to a lot of blockchains right now. I don't think people are prepared for that level of
Participation.
centralization versus decentralization. But
Hmm.
a lot of this decentralized shit really depends on some centralized shit.
You
Just
think
so you
about it
know.
though, like that's what the whole game stonks movement was like a first bit of that, where people are just banding together and trying to cheat the system because the system cheated them, sort of thing. And so, I mean, can you imagine if people install a patch into all their software or whatever so they can 51% attack the Federal Reserve or something like that, you know?
Oh, it's
And
happening with Teslas. People I saw
yeah,
hack their Tesla to mine Bitcoin while they're driving around and charging their car. So we're getting closer and
yeah,
closer to people turning their refrigerators into, weapons in the future wars already.
yeah, that would be so. Yeah, the future's quite fascinating. I gotta say that. Well, let's switch up to this Mastercard thing, right? So Mastercard is
Yeah, this is
preparing
crazy, actually.
infrastructure for deployment of CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies. So, the world's third largest consumer payment processor remains bullish on the adoption of CBDCs. During an earnings call with investors and stakeholders, Michael Miebach, CEO of MasterCard, discussed the positive outlook of the cryptocurrency industry, blah, blah, blah. But basically, they're preparing stuff for CBDCs, which is interesting because I don't know if you saw a headline a few days ago, maybe, or last week, or whenever it was, that MasterCard is preparing to offer Bitcoin services. And I didn't hear other cryptos mentioned, but they said for Bitcoin. And so
Interesting.
they're getting into that, but then they still want like CBDCs. That's what they're big on, is these central bank digital currencies. So I don't know. What's your what's your immediate reaction to that thing?
I mean, uh, they're trying to stay relevant, right? It's sort of like if
Uh huh.
Blockbuster was trying to figure out how to start,
Mm-hmm.
giving you streaming services somehow. This is that last stitch of relevancy.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is a Hail Mary, so this toss could take 5 to 10 years to land before we know if it isn't worth the play on the field. So this is like a 5 to 10 year play, but it's their last play. If
Mm-hmm.
CBDCs, they can't get these central bank digital currencies off the ground and get people to adopt them as Elon Musk got people to adopt fucking Dogecoin, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to fail flat on their face. More and more people are closing their bank accounts and quitting their 9 to 5 jobs and moving over to fucking Uniswap, Pancake Swap, and playing in DeFi and getting dexes running. And people are waking up, and
Mm-hmm.
they're starting to see what their nephews and nieces have been doing in their basements. Talking about this Bitcoin stuff for the past decade. They're listening now.
Yeah.
So to me, this is that last stitch, very obvious last stitch effort on the banking side of things, and Mastercard to stay relevant before like
Mm-hmm.
BitPay just completely takes over. They don't know Mastercard needs a BitPay service instead of BitPay needing a Mastercard service.
Yeah. I wonder, like, clearly. So I think that the payment processor world, there will be people that rise up there because no one is using crypto to. I mean, maybe my pessimistic stuff, but buying things, like buying stuff. No one's really buying things with crypto other than like me and five other people. Well, I'm sure you're one of them. And all the point of sale systems really suck. Like
They do.
BitPay is like the big one, and it sucks. Then they try to KYC you after holding your money hostage sometimes, and like there's the best one out there is AnyPay, but AnyPay doesn't have fiat conversion, and like the people that run it don't always like keep the merchant map updated or thing. Like it's very like small potatoes kind of stuff, and it's still like way better than everything else just because no one's in the space. So I can't actually see like Mastercard because they process payments, right? And maybe not like being in the card issuing part of the world, but I could see them getting in and processing everyone's crypto or 90% of crypto payments or whatever it is by just getting into the terminals. People have their own keys, they have their own crypto, but when they scan it into the devices, MasterCard's the one that takes it, makes sure it's like secure to, make sure it's secure, and then like does fiat conversion or whatever back end. I think that they could actually have a big piece of the pie of the future payment processing. Maybe not nearly as big as they had in the past, but I think they're probably going to be there.
Well, we're building a potential honeypot bigger than Mount Gox ever could have
Mm-hmm.
dreamed to be. And
Yeah.
MasterCard doesn't have the history of keeping transactions secure at
Mm-hmm.
all. So, I'm waiting. to see what they like. Obviously, like I said, it's a 5 to 10 year play on the field. Like that's how I'm looking at this, because I need to see what they're going to do when it does go wrong, and it's going to go horribly wrong. Billions of dollars are going to get screwed up somehow, and they're going to have to fix that. And I'm curious to see how they're going to right the first wrong that they run into. And that's where I say, like, spectator sports again. Me looking at Sheeb, I just like to spectate. I'm in the stands watching the field, waiting for that correction, waiting for a 500% correction.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty epic. The epic dump. But like
from the top 10 to 3,000th position on market cap, I can see it now.
It's funny because a friend of mine who I work with, he's like really pretty new to crypto. He's going all into Dash, especially right now. But I had him on the show last week, and he said that his first crypto was BitConnect. That was literally the first coin he bought, and then he of course lost everything. But then he didn't lose much. I'm sure he didn't have a lot in there. But then it's like, all right, well he's stuck around, and then now is like into good stuff and starting to try to use it. He wants to get paid in crypto. He wants to like all the stuff. And so I think I guess I'm worried a little bit that some people will see like the Sheeb crash and all that stuff and be turned off. But at the same time, I'm not that worried, because if someone can come back from BitConnect and still be around, like, yeah, I think that people will, how do you get out of crypto? That's something I don't get. Like, how do you?
I mean, yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, how do you get out of banking, right? Wells Fargo got in trouble for opening accounts for grandmas and grandpas for decades, stealing money. And what did everybody do? They closed their Wells Fargo account, went next door and opened one at PNC or the next bank, right? They didn't stop using banks. You're going to stop using BitConnect, but you're going to stop using cryptocurrency.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped using banks when they screwed me, but that's a different thing.
You think you did, but a lot of the things that we interact with use a bank after we use them, right? So we still do use banks by a third party proxy.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like you separate yourself from the whole thing. Let someone else do it for you, right? But the thing about like crypto, like people have a savings account, or maybe they like put in some, buy some stock somewhere and hope it goes up, or that's like it. And then say you get into Sheeb, the price goes whee, and you're just like, this is amazing, and then it crashes and you end up losing money and it goes away. You still remember like the world of excitement and possibility.
Yeah, you remember
crypto
the
is. Yeah, and you're just like, sure, some of it's degenerate gambling where people are like, I want that next high, but some of it's also like, that was so fun and easy. I just got in, and it like, can't I get into something again that's just safer and smarter, but it's the same deal.
Well,
it still can go up.
The people that got into Sheeb are the people that missed the boat on Doge, right? They bought 70-cent Doge. Now they're buying Sheeb.
Yeah, or maybe some of those people are then getting into FLOKI or Baby Doge like early, knowing it's not good because they've seen up and down, and they just know, like, I'm going to get a bunch of this in, and I know I'm going to dump when I'm up. I'm not going to be greedy. But then what are they going to dump for? Like, why do I do fiat? Wait, I'll put it in Bitcoin. I'll keep it in Bitcoin for a while and then wait for the next one. Or maybe, hey, I like this because Bitcoin goes up too. Not as fast, but it's not going down like my dollar.
MasterCard, to get involved with this, so people that are making these gains don't have to cash out the fiat. They could, spend their Bitcoin on their car instead.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason people would cash out, is to realize those gains. But if they could spend, and that's the thing, is like, yeah, obviously this is going to start with like, stable coins. I imagine this is all in on stable coins over here in MasterCard world, but I could see this just being that door, opening for the more volatile assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Doge. But yeah, obviously MasterCard's going to want to play with these stable coins first.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, so let's hit up this LinkedIn thing before, So LinkedIn, should be, it's like the non-headline of the century, but LinkedIn reports crypto and blockchain jobs listings have surged 615% since August 2020. Some of that's just bear market shit, bull market. Bull market, of course. But yeah, everyone is getting into crypto these days, and I don't
Well,
know.
even
Maybe
GameStop just posted a bulletin board asking for
yeah.
blockchain and NFT savvy applicants to apply for GameStop corporate and in-store positions.
I wonder what their angle is. Like, where is GameStop going to integrate into this kind of stuff?
I could see exactly what they did with video games that were virtual. They'll have a
Mm-hmm.
physical a physical on ramp to the metaverse. That your train station will be a GameStop. You're going to go to a
Mm-hmm.
GameStop. You're going to get your NFT ticket, and you're going to take a ride all aboard to that blockchain, baby. I can see it right now
Mm-hmm.
with the. Excuse me. Let me just stretch on over these things right
Mm-hmm.
here. I got at Target and Walmart, and inside of this tin is a QR code for an NFT, a pack of NFTs. And I got this at Walmart and Target. It's a Garbage Pail Kids, collectible tin. I got all of them in a big old box back there. And inside is a QR code to get an NFT. Now, if you want your Fortnite skins as a kid, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
your parents might let you add your credit card information to your PlayStation to buy that skin. But going to a
Mm-hmm.
GameStop, you're going to be able to, get your kid a gift card. Then they can, redeem it for the NFT that they wanted to get. That's going to be the middleman. I could definitely see GameStop playing a huge, huge role in NFTs.
Yeah. I hope. I mean,
A
maybe
lot of these
games.
companies are, dude. They're that's why this is blowing up. Every gift card, loyalty points, and program that exists will be tokenized.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. It was funny because, like, the end. So I have to say, you know, I got crypto before a lot of people. Just saying you've been in since 2013 for anyone means you got it before a lot of crypto, right? But then, of course, being a boomer in the space now, right? I'm like, back in my day,
Yeah, a little bit.
it was all digital cash, and you just used supposed to be money, and then like, but then the space moves on, and DeFi. I was like, oh, what the hell is DeFi? And then I like, oh, it's just decentralized. I get it now. And NFTs have been taking me longer to wrap my head around everything about it, but I think I'm like there. So I was listening, the most boomer thing anyone can hear, probably about NFTs. So I was like, do you ever watch what is it? Do you ever watch Hot Ones? You know what that show is?
Yeah, with the wings.
Yeah, it's a show with hot questions and even hotter wings, as they say. But the Mila Kunis was on just, I think today or something. I was just listening to that while I was getting ready, and she was talking about how this animated series that they're doing, that they completely crowdsourced it with NFTs because they just and
Oh yeah,
it's
Stoner
not
Cats, right?
yeah, and it's not just like a gimmick type thing. Like, well, we just did NFTs, man. But it was like a whole conversation on, yeah, the system today, like, is just so messed up for, oh, you want to pitch a show, and then they're like, oh yeah, I like this, I don't like that, and then you take it to the higher executive, yeah, I don't like it. And it's such a pain in the ass. So rather, you're just like, hey, we're doing this show, buy our NFTs, and then you get to choose, if you have the NFT, which direction the show goes next time. And it's like, you start to get it. It's just like, oh, okay. You're literally, the NFT is kind of like, it's almost like, to a certain extent, like has almost like a more limited DAO application type thing, where you don't want to create a DAO with tokens for everything you do, but you can issue NFTs and for a much more practical purpose on that. And so, I mean, it would be fun. Not gonna lie, like, I'm going to jump into this space pretty hard when I get a free moment, because I'm doing 1.5 million things. But can you imagine, like, which guest should I have on the Digital Cash Rundown next? NFT
Yes.
holders vote, and
That's what
there we
Ken
go.
Token is for, man. I'm creating a DAO to have people interact with me more and be able to do
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Right now, it's
Yeah.
just starting, with having utility. If you want to go to my birthday Halloween party in New York, have some Ken Token. But yeah, I'm creating a DAO essentially for the same thing, so people can vote on like who is going to sponsor the podcast, if there are people that are offering, or who's going to be the guest, or should I change the time? Like stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I wanted to have that level of interactiveness between me and my community, and that's why I did the Kenn token. So I definitely recommend you creating your own FT if you're going to get into NFTs. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a powerhouse combo that doesn't get appreciated enough, is having a non-fungible collection utilizing fungible tokens with it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, clearly, it's funny because the monetization models, it's crazy how fast the world changes when you think about this. And of course, I'm not pretending like the world runs like you do today. Just tomorrow it will. But it comes from, oh, you know, sign up to YouTube and like do their hyper chat, super chat thingy and let them take all your money and like all that kind of like monetization, the Patreon model, whatever it is. And you got to sell ads, do ad reads, whatever. It goes from that model to then like, oh, well, with crypto, you don't even need a centralized processor. You can do it direct. And it's like, it's not even there for like 10 minutes before now. There's some NFTs, you're selling pieces of your show and this and that. And like, it's just like,
and you don't even need to ask people to give you money. Like,
yeah.
that's the other cool thing, is like, oh, you want to provide, value to the podcast or whatever, the project. You could just buy some tokens and stake them, or, provide liquidity and earn for that. You don't have to spend anything. And then at that point, you're providing value and you're earning for the fact that you're providing value. And I think that's what a lot of companies aren't, understanding right now. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with Kenn token. It's yeah, LinkedIn says 615%. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have so many companies begging me to work with them because my resume is speaking for itself. I am doing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to
Yeah.
put my resume together. Google my name. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
trying to
The
do the Kenn
CEO of
token and the broker.
NFTs.
Yes. So I could take this proof of concept that I'm doing for myself and then sit down with somebody like Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, and companies like McDonald's and Walmart and show them this is how you can provide value to your community, not customers. Get rid of that C word. We're going to call them community members instead of customers. And we're going to give them more than they give us. And I can show them how to do that, how Walmart can give back more than they're getting in. And it's cyclical. It makes it possible for those community members to come back and engage with you more because you gave them more than they gave you. It's cyclical. It's affordable to go on forever.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine with each Happy Meal, you get a governance token. And each time you clock out as an employee, you also get a governance token. So everyone who's ever bought something from McDonald's, everyone who's ever worked for McDonald's has a say in the governance of the corporation.
Yeah, exactly. I could see a million directions to take it, but I'm just doing it my way with my community. So when those opportunities do start flooding in, I can really cherry pick who I want to, play with in this space. I think it's cool to say you have an idea, but it's a lot cooler to point at your idea you had and show people it in action. And that's what Kenn token and the memberships are going to be for. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff. Well, let's wrap that up there and let you get on with your day and stuff and get back to getting absolutely blazed so you don't feel pain anymore.
Yeah, dude, my pinky. Oh, look at it. It's all. Look, you can see how purple it is.
Yeah, you gotta get that checked out. Oh, so it's chill o'clock, also known as 4 p.m. but or almost 4. But yeah, shill all your stuff.
You can subscribe to my OnlyFans. My NFTs for sale.com, nftforsale.com. If you wanted to, pick up some NFTs, I have a few different websites for that. So nftforsale.com is my generic overall NFT website. Excuse me. I have augmented reality NFTs too. So if you're into like AR, I have a Kenny doll, KENNEE doll.com. And that's an augmented reality NFT. It's like $1, and you can play with an NFT in augmented reality. It's like one of the world's first NFT action figures. So that's cool. And I have the BroBros420.com. Kenn token is officially on the Alcor exchange. And the memberships go live on my birthday in New York City. So only 420 members. So if you think you have a chance. 420 memberships will be available on November 1st. So that's brobros420.com. Those 3 websites are pretty much like everything I have going on right now.
Yeah, it's still a lot. Each one of those is a lot more than most people have going on.
My favorite is the AR action figure, Kenny doll.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Mm-hmm.
augmented reality action figure NFT. It's pretty cool. You can like accessorize it and put little like accessories on it, and
Yeah.
and I think there's even a skin coming to Minecraft. So if you want to run around inside Minecraft looking like Kenny doll, that's coming.
That's awesome. Well, you got a lot of hustling going on. It's always great chatting with you. Everyone, like, comment, share, subscribe. Throw me some coin tree stuff before I get all a million tokens and NFTs and stuff you get instead. While I'm still being a crypto boomer, please abide by my boomer ways. So yeah, so see you guys in a week. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. Thanks so much for being on, Ken. And yeah, I'll see everyone around. Bye-bye now.
Love y'all. Have a week.